Hello. Hi guys, how are you? It is that time again where I'm gonna do my fertility hot seat. Happens every other Monday right here. And yeah, so just for all of you newbies and those of you who are eager to get your spot in the hot seat, what you have to do is request to join me live. And then I will at random pick one of you. Please do not request to join live if you've already gone live with me. Let's save and share my knowledge and expertise with the whole community. So request to join me live, and then what I'm going to do is I pull you on live here with me. So you're going to go streaming live on your on my Instagram feed, and it is recorded, and we do keep it up on the feed. And you're going to get a free 15-minute consult with me about you and your fertility situation and how I can best help you. So what you have to do, I'll say it again, is hit the button down below where it says request to join Amy Live. And then as people start doing that, I will randomly pick one of you, and then I'm going to pull you on, and we're going to do a free 15-minute consult. And a bit about me is you are not getting medical advice from me right now. You are getting advice from me based on my almost 20 years of clinical experience. I've authored 4 books. They are all up behind me. Use the request to join button if you'd like to go live. Exactly. Thank you from my team. So a little bit about me is I am an acupuncturist and herbalist. This is not a Q&A, so I'm not answering questions unless you want to come on live with me. So Holistic Classy Soul, if you want to request to join me live, you can, and then I will answer your questions there. But this is not a Q&A. This is a live free consult with a member of your fertility tribe. And you get to hear her story and my insight on her case and what she can do to best optimize her health and fertility. And again, this is all based on my almost 20 years of clinical experience as an acupuncturist and herbalist. I also have, a lot of Western medical training and have done a lot of research in the world of fertility and have helped thousands of women all over the world. I actually just went through a list. You can't really see names. I'm gonna shake it so you can't read the names, but look at all these names of women that I have helped get pregnant in the last I think it's about 6 months. Literally look at this list of names. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These women are actually very pregnant at the moment, or about to give birth, or have just given birth. So sorry, 9 months. 2020. So this is 35 women on this list. That's a lot. Anyway, so what is that? That's a lot of women anyway. In 9, yeah, that's like 5 a month or so. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. 5 a month. And that's just my practice. I haven't yet collected the data from my associates and my coaches. So that number will definitely double. So I would call it 70 women in about 9 months that we have helped make healthy babies that they're going to bring home or they've already brought home. So, okay, anyway, keep in mind, I am not a medical doctor. This is not medical advice. This is advice based on my clinical experience. And again, if you want to join me live, you got to click to join live. So I see some names coming in here. And I'm going to go and pick them because let's get on with our day. Seema, looks like you are the one who's going to come live. Let's see if she's coming on. All right.
Right.
Hi. You did it.
Yeah, nice to meet you. I didn't think I'd be picked. So.
Aw, well, there you go. You stood out to me. So fill me in. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. So
Okay.
I wanted to share my journey, get your thoughts.
Yeah.
I'm trying to conceive for about almost 2 years now, coming this December. So we started December of 2019.
Okay.
Got off birth control. We started trying, realized really quickly that I probably had endometriosis. So we didn't realize quickly, but I started developing a ton of pain. So I ended up having surgery to remove
What kind of pain?
Pelvic pain.
Pelvic pain. Okay.
Shooting pain. So it got worse progressively every month. clinic said, our IVF clinic said, hey, let's go do a
Lab.
laparoscopy, see what's going on. Found some endo. So we removed it December of 2020, so about a year after the pain started.
Okay.
Unfortunately, had a bad experience, so I'm still now recovering from post-op pain, and I have an incisional hernia. But we've been trying IVF. Yeah, so it's been a
But
difficult.
so tell me what they found when they did the lab.
Yeah, so they found a little bit of some deep infiltrating endo in the pararectal region, and then also endo on the uterus, nothing on the ovaries. Everything else looked good, so remove that with excision, no ablation. But I think I might have some scar tissue from the surgery, so we'll get a lot of pain, but it's not the same as the endo pain. It's very different.
Where is it?
I have it on the left of the belly button, so sometimes movement.
Maybe do you when you get an injury, do you get keloids in your scars, or are you like a keloider? Do you know what I mean, like on your skin or cuts or anything?
I definitely don't heal very easily. So like if I scrape my knee or something, I'll definitely have a scar and that'll never go away. But I don't think I've ever had a keloid scar.
Okay, but that's interesting. So it's like left umbilical, and you have a hernia now too? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think I have an incisional hernia from the surgery. So seems to now I have to go in, get that fixed, and discussing whether to do a repeat laparoscopy to see what's causing pain, if that's scar tissue or something else, right? If endo
Came back.
or if it got transferred while it was being removed, things like that. So still not sure what to do. We decided let's start IVF at least, do some retrievals. So I've been taking a vitamin cocktail from Theralogic, so inositol, the vitamins that they come in the pack with the 2 CoQ10, vitamin E, all of that. Did one retrieval in May. We got 12 eggs, only 8 were mature, 7 fertilized, 5 made it to blast, and then 2 were normal.
Beautiful.
So
I know it probably feels like it's crazy how you can go from 12 to 2, but
yeah.
To get 5 and 2, that's great. How old are you?
I am 33, turning 34 later this month.
Baby. Okay. So 2 normals. Okay, so that was in May. Okay.
Yeah, we wanted to have more normals. We want to have at least 2 kids, so recommend 2 per kid. So we just did another retrieval in July, or sorry, actually August. Started stims in July. Just had a couple of weeks ago. Had 21 eggs, but only 9 were mature. So I was a little surprised at that. Of those 9 mature,
they gave you more meds though. Did they give you more meds this time around?
Yeah, they increased. So I was on the first cycle was on 225 Sonalef, 150 Menopur, and then I had a leuprolide acetate trigger, and then a cetrotide to prevent ovulation. This cycle, they added the Gonalef to 300, kept Menopur at 150, kept the cetrotide and the leuprolide acetate trigger, and then they added Omnitrope.
Yeah.
So I was hoping for more mature eggs. They were estimating about 14 or 15 mature eggs based on size at retrieval, and just even seeing them come out. But so they were really surprised to just see 9. So I don't know if that has anything to do with egg quality.
I think it's too many the meds. They just didn't get mature enough, right? They recruited too many. I mean, it's like I always say microwaving versus slow cooking. Do you know what I mean? That you just don't get the same flavor and taste and that kind of thing. I think there was too much Gonalef. But what'd you wind up getting, or do you have the results yet?
So far, 9 were mature, 6 fertilized, and all 6 made it to blastocyst stage on day 5. And now we should get PGT results today or tomorrow. We're still waiting to hear. Hoping I don't have to do a 3rd retrieval.
Yeah.
But
so hopefully if you have the same percentage, that you should get 3 then. You know what I mean? Like if the odds work out to be the same, you should get 3. 2 to 3.
That's our hope. And then we can transition to transfer, hopefully. I have to fix the hernia first and things like that, but road.
So, I mean, that's the thing with endo too, which, obviously it's inflammatory. It can impact quality. It can, do the things it was doing to you, but I think you're young enough. It hasn't impacted quality that significantly yet. And also maybe the pill kept it at bay for a while, which is, probably a good thing. In a sense, I don't necessarily encourage the pill forever because I like to get to the root of the problems. But like maybe in your situation, like I don't think quality's been impacted at this point. At least it's not showing that, which is good.
Okay.
Maybe at your age, they'd expect more of them to be genetically normal, but I would still think about like the internal environment that we don't want too much inflammation in there for the transfer so that we make sure we don't transfer and then miscarry, which is another, layer to this endometriosis puzzle that we can see. So for you to go after, so like, how about diet? I know you're on like the vitamin cocktail. What are you doing diet wise?
Yeah, so I'm trying to like eat as clean as possible. It's really hard and challenging. So my first recommended a dairy-free, gluten-free diet to keep inflammation down. So I've been trying to do that. I do that about 80% of the time. They're
Okay.
really hard. I've been incorporating bone broth. I know you kind of
Okay.
recommend incorporating more. I do it about 3 times a week.
Okay.
And so with either
And
breakfast,
how about vegetables? How many veggies are you getting in a day?
yeah, I would say I get them mostly in breakfast and dinner. So like breakfast is usually like eggs and sauteed veggies on the side with a cup
Okay.
of bone broth, maybe some
Good.
fruit.
Okay.
And then at dinner, it's usually something like ground chicken or salmon with veggies on the side.
Okay.
And so I'm
So
trying to
probably
keep,
like 4 to 5 servings, I'd say.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would, I mean, my egg quality diet might be a little too intense for you. It is an elimination diet, but I think very generally speaking, I agree with your acupuncturist, like gluten, dairy, and soy. And I would just for you, like almost look at this as like maybe this will work for you mentally of like you can go back to gluten and dairy once you're I'd say in the third trimester personally is how I would approach it, but like right now it's like game face on, like that's how I would kind of look at this. And also, do you have other symptoms, like do you have gastrointestinal symptoms or skin issues or I don't know, joint
Yeah.
pain, headaches, things like that?
I definitely have like GI issues.
Okay.
So I saw a GI doctor. She just kind of told me to add Miralax and Benefiber at dinner with
Right.
my whatever I'm drinking, which is usually water. So I have that mixed in with my inositol,
Yeah.
have a little
Okay,
cocktail.
so we have a little cocktail, a little poop cocktail. Yeah. So, but I mean, if you're not pooping, it tells me that your body's like, so what you're giving me, I can't really digest, And so to think about it like that. So, and that's a lot of like maybe even looking at the egg quality diet might be helpful for you to just look at the checklist I have in there of like how many inflammatory symptoms do I have, and then it might give you ammunition to commit more to the diet to understand like that fertility is an extension of health and that like endometriosis, which I'm sure you've done research, is like a systemic inflammatory disorder, right? It's not just impacting your fertility. Long term, it can impact all sorts of things.
Yeah.
And you've gotten the slate clean with the surgery, but now you want to keep it clean, right?
Mhm.
And that's kind of on you. That's on your lifestyle and your diet and your supplements. And so I would definitely, at the minimum, gluten, dairy, soy free, keep added sugar below 15 grams a day, eat 6 to 8 servings of vegetables a day. So like even if there's like a middle of the day like snack of some sort, like some kind of smoothie where you could add in some more veggies or like spirulina, something like that. I love spirulina for detoxing the liver. Broccoli sprouts are another great one to like help your body get rid of a lot of the, this is generally speaking, but a lot of endo girls have a hard time clearing estrogens is basically like the issue in their body. And so then you also want to think about bath and beauty products, all the things you're exposed to. On my website under Amy's recommendations, I have Amy approved lists. So we've done the work for you of like the best products for like everything from toothpaste to household cleaning, products like to laundry detergent. So just to start switching stuff out and reduce your exposure there. And then making sure in that vitamin cocktail that you have like 3 grams of fish oil a day.
Yeah, I do have fish oil.
Okay.
I don't know if
And
what is NAC?
yeah, N-acetylcysteine is the other one I would add in. Yeah, because there's that one research study. It showed 1,800 milligrams of NAC, I think, 4 days a week, and then 3 days off was the most beneficial for endo. Sometimes I take the average of that though and just say take 900 a day. Do you know what I mean? Like, so you don't have to think about
Oh,
the
okay.
5 versus the, or whatever, the 3 versus the 4. Um, N-acetylcysteine, fish oil, make sure you're doing methylfolate, not folic acid. Theralogix is good about that, but just like double check everything.
Okay.
And I would like, it might, like I said, it might give you ammunition from a diet perspective, because this is the hard part of like the surgery is one piece of it, but then it is still on you to kind of maintain this, you know, way of living, because your body's saying, I don't like, you know, what you are giving me, you know what I mean? And it's, you know, the endo will feed off of that too. And then some of your other symptoms. So if you keep a checklist and then like maybe commit to the diet for 2 weeks and then look, revisit the checklist and be like, oh my God, I didn't feel bloated this week. I didn't get a headache. I didn't have X, Y, and Z. You might feel more motivated to see that food is really impacting you.
Yeah, I think the hard part is like I went a couple of weeks where it was really strict. I was like, I don't notice a difference. So it was really hard to
Yeah.
figure out like,
And it
and I
might
feel
not have
like,
been long enough. You know, that's one thing. And I think too, like the thing I break down in the egg quality diet, and this is like what I've seen the difference between when I wrote Yes, You Can Get Pregnant and the egg quality diet was most women are cutting the things out, but they're not adding in what they need to add in. So like they make sure they're getting enough protein, make sure they're getting enough vegetables, like that their macros are properly balanced. And so that could have been part of it too. Like if say you cut the things out, but then you just were eating less. Like I just had a coaching call with a girl this morning and she sent me her food diary. She cut everything out, but she's like, not really eating. Like she had like 40 grams of protein. She's like, I lost some weight. I just don't feel that good. I'm like, cause you're barely eating actually, you know? And she was missing vegetables, and you know, so I was like, it's also about, so maybe you could think about it that way too, of like, what do I need to add? I need to make sure I'm getting 80 grams of protein a day, good quality protein. I need to make sure I'm getting 6 to 8 servings of vegetables. If you do those 2 things, you kind of don't have much room for gluten and dairy, you know, you don't miss it as much. But I just think too, like the data, the research does show us that those foods are inflammatory and they seem to trigger inflammatory diseases and, you know, autoimmune diseases, all the things. So I would still stick to it personally, as best you can.
okay. And that impacts like implantation success.
It can. So, you know, there can be 2 layers to it. It doesn't have to be you. And I don't want to like plant that seed, but
Right.
it can be not just, a lot of girls, it becomes like an egg quality issue. And then the uterus, though, is inhospitable because there's so much inflammation that you transfer the embryo. It either doesn't stick or you get pregnant and you miscarry. There's a lot of people that do like immunology workups with endometriosis girls, and they'll do like a medical cocktail of like steroids and blood thinners to help you hold that pregnancy. But I don't think we should assume that yet with you, because we don't know that. Like, it's not like you've gotten pregnant and you've had miscarriages, you know?
Right.
So it's just, if say you do get pregnant in a transfer and you miscarry, then I would really revisit the diet and take it super seriously. And like even reach out to me and just, or write down, BRI is the website, Braverman Reproductive Immunology, Dr. Andrea Vidali. He's the guy to go to do a workup and see if there's any autoimmune stuff or immune stuff going on that's preventing implantation.
Okay.
But we don't know that for sure. It's just more like, for me as a practitioner, like my antlers go up with like, okay, I almost want to just make sure like the eggs are one piece, then the transfer is another, then getting and staying pregnant is another piece. And we want to, that's why, like, you know, we really want to just set the stage for success for you.
Okay. So like, I know my clinic recommended like doing an ERA before transfer, but she said she wouldn't recommend anything else because I haven't had miscarriages before.
Yeah, true.
Would you get?
Yeah, so you can, I don't know that there's a need for, the other test is like the endometritis test, the Allison Emma test.
Yeah, I asked her and she said no.
Yeah, I don't know that you need, like, again, we have no proof. It is one of those things
Yeah.
where they don't like to look for problems if they don't suspect them. It's kind of like, but damned if you do. Like, and then if you transfer though, say you get pregnant and you miscarry, then like all of these should be on the table. And then I would also think about like a hysteroscopy. Like they'll go in for a repeat lap maybe, and maybe you do that before a transfer and you make sure that they look in the uterus. And that there's no scar tissue or anything in there that could be impeding anything.
Yeah, I did that with the laparoscopy.
Yeah, that's what they usually do. So if
redo.
they repeat, then they'll look again. That's what I would do, you know.
Okay.
And then between now and then, it's like castor oil packs, which you can just Google my name and castor oil, CASTOR. Do those regularly. You're doing acupuncture. Mind abdominal massage really helps with uterine blood flow. Have your acupuncturist put you on some herbs to just kind of keep things flowing and clear and open. What else? Yeah, and then to me, it's like as much as you can, like get, as I say, the kinks out of your system. Like you want to go into the transfer feeling kind of like you're healthiest. That's
Yeah,
how
I
I would
just
look at it.
tried like PT, pelvic PT, abdominal
Yeah.
massages, and it increased my pain. So I don't think it's because of like endo, and I think there's scar tissue and it's
Yeah,
moving it, and
it's
then
just move things around. So maybe just try the castor oil packs. And I also did a video on abdominal gua sha, which might feel really good and like something you can do at home. Because
what is
maybe
that
you
again?
need more gentle. Yeah.
What was that again? What's it called?
It's abdominal gua sha, GUASHA. It's in my Instagram feed. If you scroll
Okay.
through, you'll see it. You'll see me standing there in my underwear doing gua sha. And you can join me. Yeah, so I mean, I think those are all good things, and hopefully, you know, baby dust to these embryos coming through. Hopefully, you get good results there, and then maybe give yourself like 2 or 3 months to prepare for transfer. That's how I would look at it.
Okay. And then just if an embryo makes it like to the day 5 and then being PGT normal, is that a sign that they're good quality? Like,
Yeah, no, that's a sign that they're good quality. 100%. Yeah. That's what they are. They're genetically tested. They're normal embryos. That's a great sign. Typically, if they implant, you have a less than 5% chance of miscarrying. It's a really good sign. That's what you want. And then it just you don't have that worry in that first trimester, like a lot of women do, of like waiting for the labs to come back. Is it genetically normal? Is there going to be a heartbeat? That kind of stuff.
okay.
So yeah, that's a great sign.
Okay.
And then hopefully too, I mean, it'd be so nice, like the first one takes, and then, you can take your time, which would be really nice too. That's the best case scenario, that, everything implants and safe. But like, to me, it's the whole picture of like what creates the good quality eggs also should create the hospitable uterine environment. So to just think about that too, but from a structural perspective as well for you, that, you want to make sure everything looks good in there for an embryo to live and grow.
The scar tissue, do you know if that impacts like transfer, and if it's not in the uterus?
If
like
it's not in the uterus, not necessarily, no.
Okay.
If it's like outside the uterus and kind of attached, maybe it could pull a little bit or something like that, but not typically. It's usually like cervix scar tissue and uterine scar tissue that I think impact things the most.
Okay.
That I know of clinically, but but typically outside the, because there's a lot of women that have had like their appendix removed and they have scar tissue and it doesn't impact things.
Got it.
So kind of similar.
That's like one of the things I'm trying to figure out is whether that repeat lap is going to be beneficial or hurtful in the end. Like if my body is prone to scar tissue and then I go in and I cut.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. But the scar tissue is telling us there's an inflammatory response that's like hyperactive in your body too. So for me, that's why I would like, again, stress the diet, because it's like there is some kind of process that's going on that you could tame.
Okay.
Maybe not get rid of, but tame, so to think of it like that.
Okay. So definitely like keep the no gluten, dairy, no soy, decrease sugar. And what you said, adding in spirulina, is that?
Yeah, it's on my website, the ones that I like. You can see them under the recommendations. It's like a blue-green algae. So it's like a sea vegetable, but high in really good minerals and some protein, some omegas, but it's another way to get extra greens in.
Okay. Okay. Well, I will definitely do that. And then I'll add in the NAC. Do you know if that's normally in like the Theralogics?
It might be in that antioxidant pack that they have, like that uva, that egg pack that they have, right? They have that one for egg health. It might be in there. I would just look and see.
Okay. Okay. So if it's like less than 8 or 900 a day, maybe add like an additional?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Usually comes in 600, 900, or 1200 milligram capsules. And so some of the supplements will have a little bit, but you want to then add extra.
Okay. Okay. This is really helpful. So I think just keep in.
Yeah, that's it. Just stay the course. Keep us posted, okay?
Yeah, I'll definitely I think I saw a thing to DM you for
Yeah,
the cat.
DM me, and I want to hear about the embryos, so I'll send you love
Awesome.
there. Okay.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you so much for coming on and sharing. It was so powerful. Thank you.
Thanks.
So you'll just exit yourself out, and I'm going to stay
Oh,
on for
okay.
a sec.
Okay.
Bye. Yay. That was a really good one. Um, I mean, they're all really good. I love all of you guys, and I appreciate you guys coming on and sharing so boldly because, you know, it's a very personal story, but everybody's story and the sharing of their stories really helps others, right? You know, you're not alone. You can see yourself in the case. And yeah, so I hope that her six that went up for testing, that we get at least 50% back. That would be amazing. And then she prepares for transfer. And I think that's the biggest thing too, of like, it's one thing, and I know I wrote a book called The Egg Quality Diet. I named it that on purpose because that's what everybody seems to care so much about. But to not forget that it's not just the quality of the eggs, it's the quality of the vessel, the uterus, the child's palace that you're going to put those eggs in, that all of it must be in good working order. And so it's not just about improving the quality of the eggs, but also knowing that the work you put in, the supplements, the diet, the lifestyle changes, all those things to improve egg quality does in turn improve uterine hospitality, right? And that's really what we want, but also to know that like we want to make sure nutritionally, like we got everything in working order so that when that baby comes through, that genetically normal embryo is just the start. That good quality egg is just the start. You now have to nourish and grow that thing, that person, that human, that future child for the next 9 to 10 months. And so what is in your body and how your body is prepared for that and how you continue to nourish your body has a very, very strong impact on the health and longevity of that child and of that child's child. So keep that all in mind, my loves. Okay. I know my team was going through answering questions. I don't have any extra time to stay on today. So I'll see you all in 2 weeks for another hot seat. This happens every other Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And yeah, and I'll see you guys on Thursday for my usual live where I think this week is book club. So I'll see you then. Love you guys.